I've mentioned this to Keith before on his channel. Oh man, I tell you, this water is really good in the summertime. And if any of you guys are interested in learning how to operate an excavator or a bobcat, I'd like to know. I'd love to have one of these machines, but I don't know how hard it is to operate. When you watch Keith operate the bobcat machinery, you know, the excavator or the skid steer, it looks like it's just an extension of his hands moving there and everything. But you know, I think it's harder than that. I don't know how hard it is. And I'd like to know how many people would be interested in watching Keith do a vid on how to operate the machinery. You know, how hard it is.
Hey guys, so I'm back. I'm going to show you a little bit of safety in the piece of equipment itself. Of course, I'm not going to start it because I have my camera crew on the front thing, and I don't want to kill Spongy because we need him to film later. So with this running, these controls operate the stick, but with this in the up position, this thing could be running and I could be doing anything and nothing will move. It's a safety feature. So when you want to go into operation mode, you put this down. Now physically, if the piece of equipment was running, anything I touch would make this thing move. The two sticks in the front here to drive the tracks, similar to a bobcat. If you want to go back, you pull back. If you want to go forward, you pull forward. And if you want to turn right, left, same thing as in a bobcat. The only difference is the bobcat levers are out here. This control here is to move the main stick, and I'll show you that here in a bit. If you pull back on it, it'll lift up the biggest arm towards the cab. And if you pull back on this, this will move the second arm back towards the cab, and vice versa. If I push this ahead, it'll lower that first stick. If I push this ahead, it'll push out that other stick. Now, towards the curling of the bucket, that's side to side on this one. So you can curl the bucket in, curl the bucket out. And this one here will actually turn the cab itself. We'll show you a little bit of that after we reposition the cameraman, because I want him to be safe, and that's the most important thing here. These videos are fun, but I don't want to hurt anybody. On this thing, it has auxiliary hydraulics, so there's a button here when it's running you can push, and then I can operate the thumb on the front, and I'll show you a little bit about that, plus a tilt attach on the bucket, which we probably won't show you that today, but for different reasons. This cab is fully air conditioned. All these doors and everything come down and close up. It's got a full stereo system, and you can easily work in this machine 10 to 12 hours pretty comfortably, you know, working on an average base. So what we're going to do is we're going to reposition here, and then I'm going to fire this up and just show you a little bit through the side door of how some of the stuff runs so you can actually see it running. Alright, so I'm back in the cab. We repositioned channel 33 so he's safe in the back of a secured location to shoot this film so I don't kill him. And yeah, the machine just starts with an easy key, and now with this lever down, everything is active. I can lift up the blade. With this blade, it's a stabilizer, so when you're digging, I can raise it up and lift the whole machine right up in the air. That works really, really good when you're on uneven ground, but it's designed to stabilize when you're digging and carrying a big load of dirt to dump into a truck or something. It's like a stabilizer arm, plus a blade to push in trenches and stuff like that. So like I was saying with this stick, as you pull this stick back, it lifts the main boom up. Okay, so that's all I'm doing right now is controlling this boom. I'm not touching the other one. So this one here, you push forward, it goes down. You pull back, it goes back. Now the reason it sounds like it's struggling is because I got the RPMs down so you guys can actually hear us. When it's in full gear, there's no lag. So now with this boom here, when you pull it back, it moves that secondary arm in. And it also goes in and out. Now like I was showing with this other control here side to side, when you move this joystick side to side, it'll curl the bucket back and forth. And when you move this other stick side to side, now you're going to see me pivot away from the camera, and vice versa back. Kind of thing. So when you're digging, it's kind of a fluid motion of all of them together. So like, I'm just going to turn this up a little so I have a little bit of response. And like I want to scrape the ground, it's a fluid motion of all the controls together. I don't want to dig this ground because we didn't do a first call. I'm just kind of scraping like if we were to scrape grass off the yard. That's kind of what I'm trying to show you here. It's a fluid motion of all hands. It's no different after you've learned how to do it. No different than sitting at the supper table and eating. You don't think about it; it just happens. But it takes time, and it's not. I definitely don't expect Spongy to be able to do what I can do because I've been running this machine I've had my company 10 years, but before I owned my company, I ran one of these for 2 years straight at the rec center working for another company. I was in charge of all the plumbing digging, and we're talking super confined areas underneath roofs and trusses, and you had to dig in between. So I had lots of experience to do it. So that's why we're in a wide open area here. And now we're going to put channel 33 in here and see what he can do.